Going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of the Luigi's Mansion No Out of Bounds tournament. We got a cool match here today with ElectricMiles and Crazy at the Ace. I'm Flair. I'm joined by my co-commentator Reds MSR.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm commentating alongside Flair, who I might refer to as Chair on accident a couple times.
Yeah, I may or may
so
not
you
call
know.
Red Fred at some point. But that's besides the point. This could be a good match here. We've got some runners who are sort of close to skill level, I would say. Crazy's got a 100 PB as far as I know, and ElectricMiles has got, I believe he's got a sub 1. Yeah, he's got a 58. So this should be a cool match. I'm not sure how much playing either of these runners have done, but they've both been ready to go, and they should soon be getting going here, at least on stream. And then we'll get the match going.
Hard.
I'm excited, man. First
it'll
match
already
I get to
sync,
commentate
so we
this
don't
year,
have
and
it's my
wouldn't
first
that be
match
great?
too.
I'm hoping that it's just synced and I don't have to do any of the work. Ah, it's close.
No,
It's like that's 2.5 seconds. Hold on. We will fix those guys because we are professionals.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you do that because I forget how to use it every year.
And oh, it's close. I'm close. But man, it's great to be back. Great to be back in the saddle for the Luigi's Mansion No tournament. It feels so long since we've done the last one.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun last tournament.
And you're gonna have fun this year. You're not gonna
Oh,
stress about
I'm
your,
sure I
your
will.
future matches, man. No, it's no problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much for us to say about Area 1, but you're grabbing a lot of ghosts in this game.
You run around with Luigi's vacuum, you shine ghosts, and then you put them in the vacuum. All Ghostbusters-esque. But Area 1 is just the typical, and you get introduced to the game, you do some rooms, then you go fight Chauncey and do Chauncey 1 cycle. That's the part we like to talk about. Other than that, you just get to watch them do these different setups and stuff.
I don't know if Crazy 8 goes for it. I know Miles tries it. I asked him if he knew how to do it the other day, and he said, define know how to do it. So I'm going to take that as a yes.
Sounds like he will be winging it, which I feel like a lot of people do with Chauncey 1 cycle, because that's kind of how the trick is. You just wing it.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, so in here it's actually faster to grab the guy on the right, because he's the only one that's pertained to a ghost wave. So you're just sucking up that second guy while these two are spawning. There's also a Speedy Spirit in that right wardrobe, but you don't have to grab him to clear the room.
Oh, that makes me miss the Hundo tournament, because a lot of runners would go for that Speedy Spirit right there and grab it right away. The classic.
And too bad if we do a Hundo tournament, there'd be like 4 entrants in the modern day.
Yeah, that is quite the shame. It was truly a moment of its time.
Yeah, a moment of the time when the game was actually alive. Now it's Frankenstein. Wait, I guess Frankenstein's alive. I messed up that joke bad. Whatever, it's fine.
You know what? We move on. Say hello to Neville, everybody. Everybody's favorite first portrait ghost.
Yeah, kind of looks like Nigel Thornberry. But anyway, it's faster to bring him into the top left. Because you're just going to end up closer to the chest. And there's also a thing called a ghost animation, where, like, the animation that plays after a ghost, if you, like, move into them in a certain way after you suck them up, they can go into the vacuum a little bit faster. And if you do Neville in the top left, you can get a good animation and also get in front of the chest every time.
It's all about them optimizations, baby.
Yeah, and then this is actually one of the laggiest rooms in the game. This and Armory lag pretty similarly, so it depends on what part of the room you're in. This room's laggy because there's a room loaded behind. You can see in that window that Toad is sitting there crying because the balcony is loaded out there.
I'm sure the leaves don't help either, because the leaves are also just all random particles, and there's a ton of them.
Yeah, that causes the game to lag quite a bit as well.
Well, they're synced up right now going into Chauncey, going for... Like, Crazy not going for Laser Crusader, but ElectricMiles will be going for Laser Crusader, where you get to skip this little text box here that Crazy 8 has to sit through.
Yeah,
and you just shoot the ball at Chauncey there.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure Crazy 8 hasn't learned a new strat in this game in like 4 or 5 years at this point. He's just doing his own thing. Crazy 8's a seasonal runner. He runs during the tournament.
Yeah, this is kind of the time of the year that he comes back to the game because he's on break and not in school or whatever, and he's got the time to chill out and play some LM.
Yeah, what an awful way to spend your break. But
I mean,
I won't judge it.
Might be an awful way for you to spend your break.
Oh yeah, you're probably right about that. My lifelong break.
Maybe not for long.
True. Anyway, Chauncey is arguably the worst boss in the game, because the one cycle is like a really dumb trick. You have to be getting dragged by the ghost, and then in a 2-frame window, you need to R pump him. And you can only release R for 1 frame. So there, Miles actually got the frame, but he released R for more than 1 frame. So yeah, you know.
Yeah, that did happen there, which is unfortunate for ElectricMiles. It's kind of good for Crazy 8 because Crazy 8 opted to go for the normal 2 cycle here that everybody used to do before Chauncey 1 cycle was found, which is actually faster than going for 1 cycle and failing it, although it's only by a few seconds.
Yeah, you could have saw that Miles got an extra Rocking Horse cycle there, which loses about 3 seconds. But yeah, I mean, if you in a race setting going for it and missing it, it's not a big deal. Unless the guy you're racing gets it, then it's a big deal. That sucks.
Yeah, that is true. It is better to have these races where either one or both runners get, or where either both runners get Chauncey 1 cycle or both runners don't get it. Because if one gets it and one doesn't, that's a free 30 seconds right there for the runner who got it.
I mean, for me, if I'm doing a race and I miss Chauncey 1 cycle, if the person I'm racing gets it or not, I feel automatically demotivated.
It certainly is quite a lot to come back from. That's a huge deficit, and you're basically banking on you playing good and your opponent making some mistakes so you can catch up. Especially in matches where the skill gap is not so wide.
Yeah. I mean, that trick used to be a lot harder because it wasn't really understood, but now that we get how regrabbing actually works, it's not as bad. It's still pretty bad though.
It certainly was a lot different than when the trick first got discovered and everybody's like, how do you do this?
I remember the first day that got discovered, I did runs and I got it 6 times in a row, and I'm like, yeah, this actually isn't that bad. And then the next day I was playing for like 4 hours and I don't think I got it once, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to play this anymore.
How naive you were on the first day.
Yeah, so I don't know if either of these guys know how to do the Shy Guy 6-piece. Oh wait, you don't go to ballroom yet. you go to the bathroom. I highly doubt either of these guys do the fast double in here. No, they just shake him off to the
classic setup. No task double in here, although the task double in this room is particularly annoying because of the angle that you actually have to get the flashlight onto both of them. Sometimes it just doesn't work, even though you think it's going to.
Since you have to turn with the flashlight off, the only real way to do it, like unless you have a third hand, is to do a claw grip onto the B button. And some people struggle to claw grip. Me, however, I've been claw gripping since day 1.
Red's hands are currently in the shape of the claw that sits on his controller. That's how bad it is.
You want to know what's funny? It actually is. That's how my hand naturally rests. It's really bad.
It's naturally conformed into the claw grip.
Yeah, I mean, when you spend like, you know, 8 years holding a controller like that every day, it tends to do that.
Tends to happen. Let's see. Will either runner get ER? It doesn't look like Crazy.
Crazy 8
did.
got
He
it.
almost got it.
And just,
He
I
almost
thought,
got it.
if, you know, he almost just, like, grabbed him and then immediately let go. Alright, so Crazy 8 is slightly ahead of Miles right now.
But thankfully, both runners getting ER there, so that way the run can stay somewhat close here. They're within literally like a half second to a second of each other.
I actually think Miles is ahead, because I think Crazy 8's timer is slightly ahead. Like, it's not perfectly synced.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And Crazy 8 unfortunately missed the storage double. Looks like he's going to be getting a 10 flat. Boo release, which is just when you press the button. I think Miles is getting like a 957. 956. I think, yeah, Crazy 8's getting a 10 flat. See, I can see when people are going to get certain times.
Yes, classic do the math. Okay, so now that we have the booze released, we get to go to the fun part of the first 15 minutes of the run, which is the first 5 boos, everybody's favorite. We get to have the potential for tech skip, and we actually have to explain why it sucks, and that's boo RNG. And you'll see why if somebody gets really bad boo RNG.
Basically, we just released the main RNG component of the game, which are boos. And basically, each room, or most rooms in the game, have certain objects that boo can hide in. And certain spots are a lot better than others. You can use the boo radar that EGAD gives you to know generally where the boo is from anywhere in the room. So that's a really important skill to have when you're running this game. But in some cases, it's going to lose you a lot of time. So in here, there's a trick called a boo tech skip. So if you pull off a cloth right after sucking up a boo, okay, I gotta say, I have not seen someone do that in a long time. So Miles didn't even go for it, but if you pull off the cloth right after sucking up a boo, it'll skip this EGAD text, which is especially good here because the first text box you get from a boo is always a long one. But the unfortunate part of it is if the boo is in the cloth, you can't go for it, because the cloth's not going to be on the table. There is a thing you can do where you leave the room and then re-enter it, but it's just slower to do it that way, so you might as well just take the text box. So for all intents and purposes, it's not possible to do text skip when the boo's in the cloth. The rest of these boos is pretty marginal, like, it's not very huge with the time loss. You just gotta find the boos quickly. There is a 7-second time save you can do with these 2 boos in these rooms by doubling them up, but it's not race safe because it's not a consistent strat.
Yeah, it does require some good RNG both in the ballroom and in the storage, because when you spawn the boo in the storage, you really hope that the boo will move down into ballroom really quickly, assuming that you actually got the boo to reveal in ballroom.
Yeah, the thing about,
like Red said, it's not very race safe because there's a lot of variables in it, and it's very easy to lose the boo, and it's just kind of over after that.
Yeah, and also you need the boo in those right chairs to even go for it. So
yeah, Miles did get the RNG for that. I don't think that the boo swapped in that room, unless he did, but I don't think he did. So he technically did have the RNG for it.
Yeah, but obviously not going to be attempting it. It's not a good idea to attempt it. It's in a race.
Yeah,
I actually know a guy who would know a thing or two about going for boo double in races.
Yeah, I think we both know that person.
I can't quite put my finger on his name. Yeah.
Maybe he'll do it again this year.
Maybe he'll get a 101 again.
Wouldn't that be impressive? Grand Finals 101 appearance.
Slightly faster to mirror warp here. It's not by much, but it's slightly faster. I'm waiting for the day that I'm like, I'm just gonna retime this for fun, and it's actually faster to walk back.
That'd be crazy if it was.
I mean, that's what happened with Billier's Mirror Warp. In PAL, it's faster to just walk back than take the mirror. Yeah. This is gonna be the first, like, real skip of the run here. It's called Fire Warp. So basically, if you grab an object right after you grab a boo, you can save and then reset the game, and it'll keep the object in your inventory. So this is the fire element, and it allows you to use the fire element. So normally there's a bunch of text and stuff that you have to go through, and there's also a puzzle. But if you save warp like this, you skip all of that text. And since you have to go back to where the start of the game is anyway, it's just faster to do that. So you're not going to see him do that on the fire medallion again. You may see him do it on another item later. Alright, so Crazy 8 unfortunately will not be able to do it. So you're gonna see what Miles skipped here. There's all of this text here, and for some reason EGAD's camera is like broken, and he has to fix it. I don't know why that's the case. And then, yeah, you go through the text, and there's a puzzle you have to solve by coming over here, grabbing the fire element, and lighting these candles. But yeah, you skip that.
Yeah, unlocks the room, and then you get to spray the candles that are in the boy's room.
And, arguably, the best part about Fire Warp is if you don't do Fire Warp, then that butler's candles that Miles just lit up, that actually becomes RNG if you don't do Fire Warp, because it's based on the boos you get prior. Because if you get worse boos, the butler's going to be in a worse spot. But since it's entirely cycle-based, when you do Fire Warp, then that removes that RNG aspect. So it actually removes RNG in the run to do Fire Warp.
I also want to mention that Crazy 8's put himself in a really interesting position because that boo wasn't in there, couldn't capture it, and he'll probably have to go back to that mirror room later to get the boo, because he'll be down a boo. Unless he wants to go get a boo from somewhere else, but I'm not sure what he'll do with that.
The boo always hides in Clairvoyant because there's not enough time to get to it. So you just have to get it while you're doing Clairvoyant.
We'll just have to hope that he remembers to go back to mirror room later when he finishes Clairvoyant and take care of it.
Skip here that we're doing called Hat Skip. If you grab an item, like right as the chest spawns, it skips the animation of it spawning. Unfortunately, neither of the runners got it. It's
so you can see that Luigi was stuck in place instead of the camera panning over?
Yeah. But normally you can just skip it entirely. And it's better to do it that way than opening the door early, because if you open the chest, you won't get the chest animation going back into laundry. So another thing that's bad about not getting Fire Warp is boo. That is unfortunate. So if you go into that vortex thing, you can skip the text from the boo, but Crazy 8 didn't get into it in time. So another thing about Fire Warp is boo switches are ran on a cycle, and that cycle's a global cycle. It's every 30 seconds. Whatever boo in the room you're in is gonna switch. And if you don't do Fire Warp, then that global cycle doesn't get reset, because every time you reset the game, that global cycle gets reset. And so these boos are going to switch at times they wouldn't normally switch. You know, there's a lot of intricacies to a Luigi's Mansion speedrun. Just watching it, it looks really simple, but there's a lot of things going through your mind at a time.
Many different mechanics and different situations that have come up throughout the years, and there are a lot of different things that you can see. ElectricMiles getting Mario Brothers... Not Mario Brothers 3, you got Water. I lied, that was not Mario Brothers 3.
Water is 5 frames faster because the song itself is longer, but you only get one text box before the options come up. This is actually a fun fact about this game. On the PAL version, it's faster to get Mario Brothers 3. Because there's two text boxes. There's two text boxes no matter what, and the song is shorter.
It looks like Crazy 8 got Mario Brothers 3.
I forgot what it looks like. Yeah,
Never mind, you got water.
Yeah, I used to be able to tell, but
me too.
Unfortunately, I cannot tell anymore.
I've lost my ways. I'm washed up now.
Yeah. I learned how to tell because like I was like I don't want to get sound glitch and then kill my run, and then I realized that there's just two text boxes before Mario Bros 3 anyway, so I was just gonna be able to tell. Alright, so yeah, you'll see there is no water warp.
Could you imagine if we water warped?
You want to know what's funny, Flair? I actually, in my first run of this game, I did water warp and ice warp.
I'm sure you went back and you were like, wait, why did I do that?
Yeah, I thought that when I was doing the water warp, and then I did it again on ice for some reason.
Genius. Your very first run and you were warping on everything.
Pretty much, yeah. Unfortunately, there's no video of that first run, but...
it's been lost to time.
Yeah, it was lost to time the moment it finished. Thankfully.
We love Spooky.
Yeah, so if you get grabbed by Spooky this third time, it spawns this ghost slightly earlier, and it also puts him into a better spot, because he needs to lick this bone that comes off of the skeleton, whose name is Mr. Bones.
Mm-hmm. Well, doesn't Spooky
out,
like go back to the doghouse after you get hit like that?
Yeah, he starts to walk back to the doghouse, but if he licks the bone midair, then he'll show his heart. So Crazy 8 actually went for a tech skip that Miles didn't. That tech skip is a more advanced one. I would honestly arguably say that and Laundry Boot tech skip are the hardest ones in the game. Laundry Boot tech skip's a completely different one. It works in a different way, but that one's harder because you have to have a specific angle with the vacuum when you suck up the boo, because you need to pull off the cloth from the front of the table rather than the side. It is actually usually faster to pull off the cloths from the front of the table anyway, but there it's actually necessary. It makes it a little bit harder.
Oh.
Unfortunately, Crazy missed that double.
He had the flash, and then he moved his flasher just a little out of the way, or at least that's what it looked like to me. But Miles taking care of Bogmire with no problem there. Oh, he let go! Hide to speak! That sucks.
Ah yes, Bogmire.
Although, he got a good spawn there. He got a good second spawn. Unfortunately, he just broke. Yeah, he broke off there, but it's fine.
I learned a long time ago that I have the permanent curse to just suck at every boss in this game horridly for the rest of time.
Although you had that Boulos the other day that was basically perfect.
Yeah, I did a second Boulos the next day that almost two-cycled.
Legendary.
Let's see if Crazy 8. Yeah. So
Nice.
Bogmire, for the record, he has the strongest pull in the game. Weston has a stronger pull, I think, maybe. I don't remember, but he's also on ice, so it just makes it harder anyway. But yeah, I mean, Bogmire's out of all the ghosts you suck out that way, he's the second hardest to get. Weston's the hardest ghost to one cycle.
Yeah, if you don't do it right with Bogmire, it's very easy to break off there. Like you saw with Miles, even though you may think that you're getting some good control and good pulls, it can be very difficult sometimes.
Yeah. Since we're kind of at like an intermission here while we're going into the next area, I'll give you another fun fact. On the NTSC version of this game, you can one-cycle every ghost in Boo but the Vanguard Boo, as far as we know. It's very unfortunate. The last boo in the game. You can one cycle him on the PAL version though, so if you play on PAL and just switch between normal mansion and hidden mansion, you can one cycle every ghost in one playthrough technically.
Oh, he almost went for the skip there.
Did the best strat in the game.
Yeah, we can't call it the other thing, so we have to call it the best strat.
Yeah, it does go by another name, but unfortunately, that cannot be. I cannot say that name on here.
No. But you know what? Best strat in the game is an okay substitute.
Yeah. Let's see. You know, maybe Crazy 8 will go for the best strat in the game. You never know. Looks like
what if he's just
going,
like
trying to get the secret fourth element with the flying fish instead of the water element.
Dude, I love the flying fish element. It's my favorite. It's my favorite element to spray in the game.
Yeah, you're just spraying out flying fish from the vacuum.
Could someone make that a mod where you just spray flying fish as an element?
I feel like that would look very uncomfortable.
It probably would lag the game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably. Having like 100 flying fish coming out of the vacuum.
Your game probably just crashes because there's too many entities on screen.
Yeah, so you can actually shoot the water through that ceiling there, and you can put out a fire that's in front of this door early. It's pretty awesome. So Miles is not going for the tea room tech skip.
Basically how that would work is you would grab that cloth on your way up to that, like, stepping thing there, that little button that flips you up to the ceiling, and basically you would pull off the cloth enough to have it where when you get the boo and then go back to the cloth, you'll skip the text from the boo.
Something you may have noticed is that Miles walked over to the left for a moment to see if there's something in the left side. That boo, if he's in the left side, is really bad. But if you read it before you grab the ice element, he's always guaranteed to switch when you grab the after the element text, so you'll know he won't be in there, whether it's a fake or not. Because a fake can't switch under normal circumstances.
Crazy One's currently blessed by gold mice. I just realized he got 2 of them.
Yeah, damn. But yeah, that's another thing. It's I mentioned earlier the boo switch global timer. That's why stuff like that is important. Is knowing stuff like that so you can know where the boo is and such. So Miles is actually doing Nana first. So that's another thing. Usually people will do Petunia first. If you feel like your boo switch cycle is going to be bad, doing Nana first is not a bad idea. But there's also a lot of pearls here, so something that isn't really that important to know at bounds usually is there can only be a certain amount of pearls loaded at a time, specifically with medium pearls and large pearls, and that's why you want to do Petunia first. Unfortunately, Nana first is a good idea in Honda though, because you actually do have to grab the pearls. But yeah, as I was saying, when you do Petunia, you spawn all those pearls, so when you go over and do Nana, only the small pearls are going to spawn because you can only have a certain amount of pearls loaded at a time. So there's significantly less pearls to worry about. I mean, any LM runner will know, like, if you ask them, is Nana harder with all those pearls in the middle of the room, directly where you're sucking up the boo? They are going to say yes. It sucks. What Miles did was smart, though. He, dragged Nana into the top left of the room so that the pearls would be out of the way, but unfortunately that one straggler just happened to be in a bad spot. Luckily,
was
though,
able to avoid a complete catastrophe, though, with the boo being able to go back into Nana's room. It can go down into Anti's room, and that just makes it very difficult to go for that boo again.
Yeah. I also think it can go into Tea Room. And it can go into Astral
Yeah.
Hall.
It can definitely go into Tea Room. If it goes into Tea Room, it definitely doesn't look like it does, because it may look like it goes into Nana's.
Yeah. The way Crazy 8 is doing this is absolutely terrifying me. But we're good.
He's got it all figured out. Miles going for the triple setup here. Never mind, he went for a double burn there.
Yeah,
That's a cool strat.
I believe the double burn is slightly slower than the double. I think. I'm actually not entirely sure. What you could do is the snap double burn setup. The one that loses 2 seconds.
Very unfortunate there for Crazy 8, losing out on the double there.
Yeah, it looks like Crazy 8 will be going for the triple setup. And he gets it. Triple's awkward
Nice.
because of, like, how you have to burn the grabber and stuff, so I don't blame Miles for not going for it at all. Double burn is a strat I don't see very often, though, so it's kind of cool to see it.
Miles also getting a first try moonshot there. Deceptively hard, or it looks deceptively easy.
You don't know
Fact
bad
is
depth
hard.
perception until you try that moonshot. It's so awful. It does not shoot where you're looking, I promise you. It's not even close, actually. And also, the moon hitbox, for the record, is, like, terrible. I shot below the moon once, and it still blew up.
Yeah, the moon is a really great hitbox.
Yeah. So a secret part of this game is Luigi's actually Eggman, and he's just doing the scene from Sonic Adventure 2 right now. Crazy 8 actually hit a bullseye on that.
Yeah, it was pretty close to it. Very nice shot. He didn't need any time to set that up either. He just saw it and was like, you know what, I can take it.
Alright. So now, we're gonna see if Pablo has a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm hoping Pablo doesn't wake up thinking, oh no, somebody did the mirror work.
Pablo's sleeping in his bed, and then all of a sudden, you know that that scene from South Park where Cartman's having like the nightmare. He's just like absolutely like going insane. I just picture that's Pablo every time someone does Billiard's mirror warp. How did you make that work?
That was a great double. Oh my goodness, I really didn't think that was gonna work. It was so wide that I didn't think that one grabber was gonna get hit.
Oh, and
Nice,
good
and he
RNG.
gets really
It looks
good
like
RNG.
Miles is going for the projection save and quit. So this is the
Will
other
he get
spot
funny
where
text?
you want to do that. Looks like he tried
No
for
silly
it. Yeah.
text.
So funny text is basically just like there's a text storage you can do that saves time, because that text box that shows up that like tells you grabbed Mario's glove, it makes Luigi hold up the glove for a moment. So if you grab it late by doing that extra movement you get before the EGAD text pops up, you skip that text and it just plays after you reload the file instead.
Very
So,
nice.
you don't have
Little
to,
easy animation skip there.
It's actually the only example where text storage actually saves time. And he also grabbed that fire beautifully. And of course, it instantly has to get ruined by EGAD, just telling them about Van Gore.
Yes,
Alright,
now that we
so-
have reached the 15 boo mark, we also now introduce the next RNG factor of boos, which is the boo text that you get from EGAD upon capturing a boo. Up to this point, we've had the same text box every time, and now EGAD will have variety in it. It can be the same normal short text that we see, it could be a medium text, it could be a text about elements, or it could be a text about Van Gore, which we don't like. Van Gore text is
Van Gore
really
is the
bad
one
compared to
that's,
short text.
yeah,
it's like
so
it's like what, you lose like three to 5 seconds every time you get Van Gore text compared to normal short text.
It's something like that, yeah. Another thing is there is actually RNG text before 15 boos. It's only 3 text boxes instead of like 10. So you only lose like half a second. And another thing that I learned actually somewhat recently is apparently after, I don't remember if it's the 20 or 25 boo mark, but after one of those, Van Gore-Tex becomes significantly less likely. I learned that recently, and I didn't know that before. Which
so
kind of
people who
explains a
get
lot.
spammed with Van Gore-Tex get like absolutely worst RNG.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
That's tragic.
to be fair, I don't get like Van Gore-Tex very often past the 20 boom mark, so it makes sense. I just usually get it like, you know, every time before that mark instead.
I'm just thinking, I just have flashbacks to HD being spammed with Van Gore-Tex for the entire rest of his run.
Yeah, I had one hundo PB that got like 11 of them or something.
That's clapped, man. That's so clapped.
What's funny is I don't even have to like look at the text to know it's Van Gore-Tex because EGAD talks in such a specific way. Like,
well, for me, there's one text that's got like orange in it or whatever. It's like within the first like 2 or 3 text boxes, and that's usually how I can tell. Although I feel like I'm still really hit or miss on identifying it properly.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Van Gore-Tex sucks. On average, though, you're gonna get at least 1 per run. Unfortunately, that's just how it works. Anyway, we're gonna be going into Clairvoya. If you have carpal tunnel, I'm sorry.
If you played LM and have carpal tunnel, I'm sorry, this is probably the reason why you have it.
If you played LM and got carpal tunnel, all we can do is live, man. I understand. I wasn't able to play video games yesterday because my thumb was not feeling great. To this day, I still feel numbness and pain for absolutely no reason when I pick up a cereal box. Thanks, Clairvoya. You really did a lot for me there.
What a nice cereal box.
What a nice cereal box.
See
you later, Bran Flakes. Or is it Kelp Flakes?
No, I think it was maybe like kelp flakes or something. No, it was Bran Flakes.
Oh yeah, it is a Bran Flakes. See you later, Bran Flakes. What a nice cereal box. Like one of the 10 Old Man Jenkins in that show.
Yeah, he's one of the 10 versions of that character.
Every old guy is just called Old Man Jenkins.
Oh man, soon we'll be beyond the text mashing part of the run where these runners sit here for a minute and just spam A and
you want to know the
most
else
on their controller.
Hilarious thing? Also, I think Crazy 8's better for getting Mirror Room Boo. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie either. I was kind of hoping that he was listening to our commentary because that was a good reminder for him if he was. Otherwise, it's gonna be he's in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, I don't know if it's faster to get Mirror Room Boo after or before Clairvoya though.
I'm not sure. Does it matter?
Oh my god. Probably not, no. I mean, the most optimal thing is to not need to get it here at all. but
exactly. Sometimes this just happens.
Yeah, so here's the most important part of the game. Is grabbing the ice in the tea room here. You want to know what's really awesome? Doing all of Clairvoya and then grabbing the boo and getting Van Gore-Tex, so you have to mash like an extra 5 seconds again.
I'm sure you've done that plenty of times.
You know, surprisingly, I don't get Van Gore-Tex in that room very often. It looks like he's remembering to go get it. It's polite to knock.
He's knocking on wood. He needs some good luck here. Okay, it didn't work. Thankfully, the boo not in the painting there. For some reason, trying to go for the painting in the mirror room for the boo is particularly difficult.
Yeah, the painting is the particularly bad spot as well, because you have to sit there vacuuming it for 10 years. And then the troll comes out after that, and that's pretty awesome.
Oh, our first poison mushroom of the run.
Could have went the entire run without it. That would have been nice.
You know what though? At least it wasn't like you knock the bucket in storage and get it to spawn. That's like the worst one. Or
dude, I started knocking that bucket like before the first ghost spawns in that room because people are like, "Yeah, you can avoid it if you do that," and that thing hits me every time anyway. So it's such a lie.
It's a bad strat.
Yeah. So Miles is doing the sidestep blackout. And we go into my bread and butter.
Your bread and butter. Yeah, this is your bread and butter, actually. Red is probably the one person who is like the master of Boolossus. He's done it all.
Yeah.
He's done every. He's been in every situation ever.
Yeah, the master of fucking at it, probably.
Perhaps. But Red has seen so much he could probably make a tutorial for it.
Can make a tutorial for how to suck at it, yeah, probably. You know what's funny? I actually did make a
What not to do
tutorial.
with Boolossus?
I actually did make a Boolossus tutorial once.
You should call the new one how not to one-cycle Boolossus.
Yeah, very true.
Oh, what an eye shot. Oh my god!
My lord!
Miles, what? Dude, that was cracked.
Normally the two-shot, I'm not a very big fan of the two-shot strat, but you hit the one straggler that was there with it. That was technically, by definition, a 15 boo ice shot.
True. That first one was like 12, and then he hit the last 3 on the other one. That was crazy, dude. No need for spraying, no need for a signature cleanup, just 2 eye shots and you're done.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, Miles is on a clean, like, 58, low 59 pace right now. Like, let's see if Crazy 8 is able to clean this up.
Thankfully, no runners without a bounds ice. There is a possibility that the ice from that statue there on the right can go out of bounds, which would be, like, pretty bad for the setup here.
I'm waiting for the day someone gets out of bounds ice and they walk to the left to get the other ice and that one's also out of bounds.
Nice. Good Boolossus from both runners. Both of them got pretty good ice shots. Crazy 8 was able to get the spray there, no problem, and cleaned it up. Very nice.
Yeah. So, I don't think Miles goes for Breaker Boo, and I doubt Crazy 8 goes for Breaker Boo. So, we're going to be probably seeing a Van Gore Boo route run here, which is about 10 seconds slower. Depends on where Breaker Boo is, I guess.
Yeah, Breaker Boo is definitely the hardest boo in the game, especially to one cycle. There are a lot of things that you got to do that you have to learn and get really good at in order to do it, and even then it may not work out. It's just that difficult of a boo.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. I unironically find Pipe Boo harder one cycle than Breaker Boo.
Well, for some reason you and Pipe Boo have a specific beef that no other runner has, because I feel like no other runner has the same problem you have with that boo.
Yeah, that's a lot of things that I do, is nobody else has the problem, so when I ask for help... There's one time I was having a problem with Launcher Protect Skip, and I asked 4 different people what was going wrong, and they all gave me different answers, and I just gave up at that point. It was just like...
4 different answers. You're like, great, I don't even know which one is the problem.
I still don't know what the problem was. It started working again, so I guess that's fine.
I guess you just figured it out subconsciously.
I was better at that when I had like a 101. No.
So anyways, some of you might be wondering why we go into sidestep for the blackout. Well, it's because a bunch of ghosts will spawn with the blackout, and doing the sidestep just makes it so you can't get scared by them when they spawn.
Yeah,
you can do it in standard, but it is harder. So a lot of people choose to do sidestep because you could just keep the flashlight pointed in a certain direction and just keep it there.
Yeah, what he said. If you want to know what the ghost spawns look like in these rooms, play a Mario Maker level made by a 5-year-old where they just spam the enemies everywhere. That's pretty accurate. Miles getting Instagram, also known as Instagram.
So Grimly there, basically, the gimmick of Grimly is that he will just randomly show his heart at some point. And
yeah, so
upon entering this room, it could be instant, and other times it could take like 2 minutes.
Yeah, so remember how earlier when we mentioned ER is like 10 seconds early or, 10 seconds after that? Well, that's just like, that can go on for minutes, technically. The longest it's went is like 50 seconds. And then that can go on, technically, I think the game code could allow it to go on forever, but you will never see that. That would be less likely than a meteor striking the Earth, and then 5 other ones coming at the same time and landing in the exact same spot, and then 5, lightning bolts striking that same spot, and then wiping out of all human civilization. That would probably be more likely than Grimly going.
I don't know. We just need to give somebody / creative, and then they could probably make it work.
Yeah, probably. You're right. I forgot about that. That is another shred I haven't seen in a long time, is burning the puncher. I believe that prevents the puncher from despawning. I think that's why people do that. Sometimes that puncher will despawn. It has nothing to do with the length thing, but when you go too far away from the puncher, dude, 2 Instagrams is actually crazy. Yeah, Grimly can show his heart while you're in the anteroom. That's why that's possible. Just for the record. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah, if you go too far right, that puncher on the left that you spawn in the left barrel can despawn, and I believe burning it makes it so that doesn't happen, but it is slower, so most people don't do it.
Well, Crazy 8 and Miles doing a little high five there on their way. Yeah. Crazy making his way to the breaker room to turn the power back on, and Miles is going back upstairs to go to the attic.
Crazy 8 blasts the flashlight into Miles' eyes, so he goes blind in the middle of the run.
You know what? I respect it, man. Sometimes you just gotta give yourself a little bit of an extra edge to try and bring the win back.
Yeah, what a good idea. Harming your opponents so that you win.
Yes, if that famous ice skater could do it, then so can you.
True. On behalf of all of the Luigi's Mansion community, please do not harm your opponents to get an edge in the tournament matches. There isn't even a prize pool this year. You actually get nothing.
There actually is no point.
It's purely an ego thing.
Yeah, this tournament this year is all for bragging rights. Okay, well, Crazy's having a really interesting situation here where he unfortunately auto-locked onto the heart that spawned from the middle, shelves there, and auto-locking is great against Boo's because what ends up happening is the Boo just flies away. And unfortunately for Crazy 8 there, the Boo flew away from Cellar, so he'll have to go do it later when he will save warp from Armory. I don't really think there's a point in mirror warping from Armory at this point. You might as well just try again on the Boo.
Yeah, with 70 HP, you might as well just save warp.
Miles going for the classic single soldiers here. Once we get deeper into the tournament, you start seeing some high-level matches. You will see the soldier double, but of course these runners are not going for it. It's a difficult strat, and honestly, it's probably just safe to go for the single here.
He attempted for soldier double there. Actually, it looked like he tried to do it, but just didn't get a good angle with the vacuum. Yeah, and then doing a classic strat, burning all these guys.
Yeah, I don't even know how the 6-piece up here works.
I know how it works, I'm just bad at it, so I just, stick to my ways and just burn them. That also happens to be most of the strats in PAL. You just burn them. There's more than 4 ghosts on screen. Time? Hold L. Oh yeah, it's the fabled Caleb skip. Let's see if he gets it. Well,
unfortunately not.
Unfortunately, Did not get Caleb skip. Having to grab more fire there. Normally you grab extra fire while you're doing the Shy Guys, but he didn't get the fire because it like rolled away, I think is what happened. I'm not really sure what happened, to be honest.
Well, it rolled away, so he went back thinking it was still there, and I guess either it despawned or just like something else.
Yeah, when you put the fire on the ground, it just despawns after a certain amount of time. But you put it on the ground so you don't get burned.
Yeah. Because the fire element flying in the air is actually something you can get hit by and will burn Luigi, so you want to avoid that, especially in this room.
Miles is going for the 3-piece, a classic strat. Also doing a really smart strat there that I haven't seen in a long time is you can search that light there to spawn either a poison or a heart out of it so it doesn't affect you while you're doing the boo.
Crazy did go for a 6-piece there. He did burn both. It did burn all of them and then set them up all together and got them all in one fell swoop.
Nice. Also, he just got low-key robbed out of that double there, to be honest.
I actually don't know how he got robbed out of that. That's insanity.
Dude, Miles might get the god RNG.
Wait, this would be perfect because then he baits the boo charge.
Oh my!
Let's go, dude.
Another thing any Luigi's Mansion runner can tell you is clearing armor room and then seeing that radar actually flashing at anything more than the least amount of speed, and that's the saddest I've felt in years.
You were so happy for 1 second. Oh.
What?
Oh, he saved it!
Dude, the knocking on the door on accident is actually crazy. Like,
wait, new tech just dropped.
That is literally the luckiest I've ever seen anybody get in this game ever.
That was awesome. The boo said, I'm gonna go into telephone, and at last it was like, psych, I'm gonna go back in armory.
Now, you want to know what's crazy? He did that thing where he covers his eyes, I think, and I'm pretty sure because Miles walked to the right, it decided to change his mind and go to the other side.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. New tech just dropped. We just found a new manip.
Yeah, we're gonna call that Miles Manip.
The Miles manip. I like it. It's nice and illiterate, so...
Yeah. When we see that happen again in 10 years, we'll be like, oh yeah, Miles Manip.
The Miles manip, the fabled Miles manip, it's real. Oh, Crazy is having some very unfortunate boo RNG in armory.
Yeah, something about the boo in here is, for some reason, he's like always in the left. I'm pretty sure it's technically, like, I didn't mention this earlier because it's not that important, but the boo has, like, probabilities for, like, the spots it can go to. That is so unfortunate.
Ooh.
But
this could be really bad for Crazy.
Each spot has, like, its own probability. Some spots are equal in some rooms, but this is so unfortunate.
Yeah, this is the bad part.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm pretty sure on the right side it's technically more likely, but the boo, like, it feels like it's always in the left for me. Let's see if Miles can one-cycle Weston, and he does beautifully. Very good.
Lots of pros in the way, but he can clean this up. Very nice. Boost swapped down in the bottom, looks like.
I think it's in the shelf, like the bottom left shelf.
Yeah.
I'm a boo radar reader master. That's what separates the good from the great. Is the boo radar. I am being serious though when I say that, like, the boo radar is just straight up the most important, like, part. Just being able to read situations like that perfectly is, like, what separates, like, a 59 and a 55. I mean, there's obviously other things
it is
like
quite
that.
a learning curve, and it's a steep learning curve at that, being able to be like, okay, especially when a boost switches, like, knowing, like, how to read the radar when a boost switches to know whether or not he switched close to you or switched away from you or just switched somewhere in a spot that you weren't even close in the first place. Like, that takes a lot of
to be entirely fair, I haven't seen Miles actively run this game since, like, 2020, like, 1, so probably a little bit rusty on the boo radar. Shout out to me being illiterate because of not being able to read the radar.
Yes, that is why you're illiterate.
Yeah. For the record, I'm not actually illiterate. I can see on the right that the name next to the timer is it looks like Pablo Runs. Yeah, I think that's what that says.
Yeah, I think it says Pablo Miles, and then the other side says Ace of Spades. Well, speaking of Pablo, there he is.
Ah,
Some people
yes.
get that reference.
Yeah.
Well, it
You
doesn't
walk
make sense
in
anymore because
there,
he actually
you know.
changed his profile picture, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways.
And, you know, Van Gogh is Dutch. For some reason, they made Van Gogh French. It would have been funny if they made Van Gogh like just an American in the French version of this game. Like you walk in, he's like, "What are you doing in my art studio? Don't you know I'm trying to paint here?"
Hey man, these are my paintings. What are you doing? Why are you ruining my paintings?
You're gonna have to get out of this room, pal, or I'm gonna show you what I'm capable of. And he
I don't
swings
think you
his
have what it
brush
takes to
and-
be in this room. I'm gonna have to escort you out.
I'm gonna have to politely ask you to leave.
You have been cut off, sir. Please leave and nobody will notice.
Alright, so it looks like Crazy 8's internet has died.
Yeah, I do want to take a little check on the stream.
And then now you defeat him, he's like, "How could you? I spent so much time on those paintings. Ah, gosh, darn it." And he starts shaking.
Alright, looks like we will get Crazy 8's feedback up soon, just based on where your stream's at right now. Imagine if Vanguard powered up like Goku. Well, I'm just not sure what that would look like. Like, would he just one-shot you at that point? Like, is it just over? Oh, guys, look at that. Crazy 8 has made his way from Weston up to Vanguard, just like that.
It'd be pretty cool if when you go into the Bowser fight, you're at 1 HP. Kind of like what they do in Superstar Saga when you go into the final boss, you're at 1 HP. Alright, this is going to be a beautiful 2-cycle. I can already tell this is going to be a beautiful 2-cycle, because that's like 1 in a billion where the Boo doesn't quadruple cackle when you walk onto him.
Yeah, he got him to leave with like 137, 136 HP. That was pretty awesome. Really good first cycle there.
Alright, and now we're going to be going on to the final boss fight of the game, King Boo. It looks like Miles is going to be getting around a 59-22. You can just add 50 seconds from when you, or it's 2 minutes 50 seconds from when you load into the parlor, and that's around what you'll get. It's not like a perfect estimate, obviously, because it's dependent on your movement going to King Boo, but if you do that, then that's around what you'll get. Or it might be a 59-12, actually, because I added a minute. Not 50 seconds. 59-22. I actually did a perfect estimate, because it's 2 minutes from when you touch this with a normal 2-cycle. Yeah, so King Boo...
We've seen King Boo 1 cycle, right? We're not seeing that.
Probably not. Most people above like a 55 don't really go for it. Or above, I guess above a 56, better put. But yeah, but the 2-cycle is mostly an auto-scroller. Like, there are some things you can do to make it faster without insta-shots and stuff like that, but generally, when you enter the cutscene, if you add 2 minutes, if you get 2-cycle, that's what your final time's gonna be. So yeah, we'll see if Miles gets a 2-cycle here. Crazy 8 unfortunately bonked into the Vanguard Boo.
So it looks like he'll be getting a 3-cycle here. Oh. Going for the strat where you walk in before the Boo actually walks in itself, so you skip the camera pan over, it's only just a little bit more difficult to make this work, but he should be able to get enough HP to finish it out on the next cycle. ElectricMiles, making sure to stand a little bit, not center, a little bit off center there, because if you shoot the ball center at Bowser's head, it just does not work. So you have to stand a little bit off center for that to work.
On the first cycle, specifically, there's an invisible wall in front of Bowser's head when he bends down for some reason. So you just have to shoot it into the side of his head to make sure it doesn't hit that. Here, it's not there. So if you shot in the center, you wouldn't hit it. It despawns after that for some reason. It looks like Miles will be finishing out here. I am shocked that didn't hit him. That scared me.
GG.
59-23 flat. Congratulations, Miles, on your win. Now we're going to be looking at Crazy 8 finishing out his run. He'll only be finishing a couple minutes off PB by the looks of it. Which with that Vanguard, or with that Armory Boo, you know, it's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice.
So we'll see if Miles wants to come in here for an interview.
Pretty solid run for Miles. He had some cool stuff going on there, honestly.
He came less than a minute off PB, so
I'd say that's quite a solid performance.
yes, Miles, welcome in.
Hello, hello.
What's up, man? GG's. Congrats on your win.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats on finding a new strat for the Armory Boo with the Miles minute. That was
Unironically, like many years ago, that actually happened to me before. Except I actually went into the telephone room and it kicked me out. Like that unironically has happened before. So I feel like calling it the Miles Minute is actually appropriate. Because that is the second time that's happened, except I did not mean to knock into the wall. I was just stupid.
Yeah, it's polite to knock. It's alright.
Gotta be real, and very annoyed that it dropped my R input there, but Armory does that.
Yeah, I noticed in the chat that you thanked me for telling you that our input information for Chauncey.
Yeah, that's helpful information, because I sometimes have no clue what I'm doing wrong. Because I just think, oh, I'm too early.
You did get the frame. You did get the frame there. Yeah. You will never let go of Chauncey if you repress the button on the same frame, basically.
Fair enough.
Or not the same frame, but whatever you're trying to say. Anyway,
Because you do the release one frame and then the next frame is the regrab.
You just need to do it in that certain window.
Anyway, that was an absurdly clean run, by the way. Like, the only real big mistake was dropping Nanaboo to a decision that was just the straight up wrong decision. But yeah, I do it because of the boost cycle, but yeah. I got burned for that choice.
Though.
But it's a classic. I have a good pace run dying to Nana or Nanaboo. It happens every single time.
Yeah.
So it's nothing new. I was actually 2 seconds behind PB going into Bogmire. So that actually was a good run.
Yeah.
Hello.
Joining us now is Crazy 8. GG's.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
I think
Welcome
I'm
in.
5 stages of grief in that run. Dude, how did I get a 102 with that? That was awful.
Does this mean you're back to the grind?
Yeah, I was practicing earlier in June. I didn't practice this week, and then everything that I'd never gotten wrong, like storage double, for example, I freaking missed that. I don't know how.
I'm telling you, the more you practice, the more the dumbest garbage happens when you actually play the game.
Yeah, I learned
I'm-
that after.
Facts.
I am running off of a single no reset run after having not played for a year. I did our no reset run a couple days ago and got like a 59-57. It's like, all right, I'm good enough for the tournament. Let's do this.
Damn, bro.
I'm actually shocked I got a sub 59-30. I'm really shocked. That was a good run.
Dude, you had a really good run. I was like listening over to like what was happening. I'm like, oh my goodness, bro, how is this guy doing this? Like, stop it, please. Let me catch up a little.
Yeah, no, I was
crazy.
Dude, that Colossus was so good. The game was just being absurdly nice to me. Like between what we're now calling the Miles manip, that and that stupid double in the projection room, I had no earthly business getting that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I heard you guys too.
Double I've ever seen in my life.
I heard you guys freaking out over that. It's like 100% no clue what I did to get that. I did not deserve that one bit. That was ridiculous. Trying to think of anything other crazy stuff going on. Otherwise, honestly, I had the lead going into Area 4, so my whole point was like, I'm just gonna go for the safest strats possible and just hold the lead.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair, bro. I had to play a little more aggressive, and then that freaking armory boo, he did that to me.
That's like I haven't done the purple puncher burn in the cellar in a long time. But it's like I'm not even risking this thing despawning.
Oh yeah.
Not doing soldier double. Not doing anything crazy.
Nah, bro, you should have gotten that 58 or that 104. You know, it's
I was actually 58 pace coming out of armory until the boo left,
oh,
and then
man.
then the boo left, and then Weston boo was trolling me location wise. I misread the radar.
Oh yeah,
So
I
I
had
was-
pretty good RNG with that room, so
Yeah, we didn't get to see it because your stream was frozen, but
it was.
Yeah,
for a
your
little bit.
your stream lagged when you like cleared Weston's room and then came back when you walked into Vangor.
Man, are you kidding
Oh
me?
no!
So we didn't get to see any of that. You just like kind of teleported up to the attic and I was like, oh, there you are.
It's a new teleportation strat. I found it, guys.
Yeah,
We found the new up
Teleportation.
warp.
you got a 102 with it. Putting that time
I
save
did.
to use.
Imagine if I had used that on PB pace, like, well,
Oh,
dude,
man.
what could have been?
I think I have nothing else to add.
Well, fellas,
Yeah.
that was quite a run.
Yeah,
Very,
congratulations.
That
very
was.
enjoyable. I was glad to be able to catch a race like this. It was very well worth it.
Let's see who you'll be facing now, Miles, as you will be moving on to round 2.
And ironically, I believe I'm facing you.
Yes, you will be facing Red Mountain here.
That's great. I will see you in round 2, Miles.
Let's do this. It's going to be the greatest match ever.
Exactly,
Yeah.
bro.
Very evenly matched here. We got going.
If you,
Yes.
I mean, if you do stuff with that armory boo again, maybe that'll like, maybe that'll be the decider.
Well, we'll see what happens.
But yeah, I
Well-
don't have anything else to add either. Congratulations.
I don't
on
either,
the
so
race, guys.
congrats.
I
Mhm.
don't believe there's another person in the losers match you're going to be going too crazy.
Yeah, not
Is
yet.
there?
I don't believe that. Let's see. This was number 8. Loser of 8 goes to 20. No, you will face the loser of the Chris Pancakes match. That
Okay.
is how that will. That's how that'll go down. So it'll be after round 2 that you will find out who your opponent is, Crazy 8.
All right.
But
Well,
if you
hopefully,
guys
I'll
have
be able
nothing else,
to win.
who knows? We will find out. We'll find out in the next couple of weeks how that'll turn out.
Yep.
But if nobody else has anything to add on behalf of us here in the Luigi's Mansion community, we want to thank you guys for watching. GG's to the runners. Congrats to Miles for his win.
Yeah, congrats,
the next
man.
match. Will
Thank
be,
you very much, GG on the race.
Our next match will be tomorrow, which will be a match of John the Pikachu versus JPN. Will be commentated by Pharaoh. I don't believe that there is a channel scheduled for that yet. No, it doesn't look like it. So, but it'll be 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So if you guys want to check that out, check that out. Other than that, we will be signing off now. You guys have a great rest of your Saturday, and we'll catch you guys later.
See you all
Yes,
later.
sir.
Peace out.